Rob and Walt, I want to thank you for coming out here. We're going to, we won't take a lot of your time, but we do have some important information to share with your listeners regarding hurricane preparedness. Hurricane season starts tomorrow and goes through the end of November. So we want our Delmarva Power customers, who are your listeners, town residents, to be aware of some important information when it comes to hurricane preparedness. First to give comments will be Joe Thomas, who heads up the Sussex County Emergency Management. Joe?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you all for coming. We're here today to kind of promote the beginning of hurricane season and the importance of emergency preparedness, the importance of the citizens themselves preparing themselves for any kind of weather we may have. We just went through our official start of summer season this weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, and to the south of us was a tropical storm that turned into a tropical depression. So it can happen anytime, and the important thing is that when you're here vacationing, enjoying yourselves, you also need to kind of be aware of what's going on as far as the weather. Another thing that we like to tell people is you can also, while you're in town, sign up for our Smart 911 service, which helps us to help people when they're in time of need as far as if they dial 911, because it provides us extra information that we just don't get from the average 911 call. So we're always asking people to jump on that and be part of that. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Matt, and we'll do questions later, I presume.
Joe, can you share that phone number with us, please?
The phone number?
Yes.
It's smart911.com. It's a website. You go on there and you register and you create what's called a safety profile. And the important thing about it is that when you dial 911 on your cell phone, all we get in our centers is a GPS coordinate and the phone number. If you attach your cell phone to this profile, now we get all the information about you and your family that you may need. And one of the examples that I like to use is Washington, D.C. is a smart 911 community along with Sussex County. If you're on vacation here on the beach and you're on the boardwalk and your child gets away from you, if you dial 911, that information is displayed in front of our dispatchers, and we have your home address, information on your kids, all the vital statistics. So it's no phone number, it's just a website, smart911.com.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, Joe. I might add too, in Joe's department, when folks at emergency management, no matter what county it's in or what city, when they have recommendations, they tell people they need to evacuate. We want people to listen to these folks, because if they say evacuate, that means there's a safety issue. If you stick around, don't think you can hunker down and ride out the storm. Your best bet is to be safe, follow their advice when they say it's time to evacuate. Next is Sharon Lynn, City Manager for Rehoboth. Sharon?
Thank you very much. And I'll just piggyback from what Joe said. The city actually has a similar system called Code Red. You can sign up on the city's website. There's a icon on the homepage of the city website that actually says Code Red. It's a very important way for the city to get the word out regarding any hurricane, any disaster, any kind of emergency operation that we might be participating in or might be coming our way. So it's a great resource for citizens and visitors to the city to sign up for. It's easy, and once the city generates a Code Red message, that message goes out to everyone who's signed up. And I've gotten great feedback from folks saying that they were in the city, or actually property owners here who don't necessarily live in the city. They were able to hear what was going on. So we put out the information as it comes in, and we update that information as necessary. So as the city manager, I can't emphasize enough the importance of being prepared, and for me, working with all the agencies that are represented here today, including Joe Thomas and the great work that he does. I know Chief Banks, the police chief who's here today, works very closely with Joe. Joe, I've been the happy attendee in many calls Joe's put out in preparation for emergencies, and that information is just so important. Actually, that's how I get the information to get onto the Code Red system. So we're all in sync. We all have the same information that we put out all together. And speaking about not emphasizing enough what Delmarva does, and the presence that they've made here and continue to make here in the city in helping the city. I know how important it is when there are power emergencies, and Jim here is just the best in responding to the city's needs and any other needs that the citizens have. So this is the best team that I know. It's great to be a part of that, and this is very important for everyone to realize. So thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Sharon. Keith, do you want to, Keith Banks heads up the town police. Just say a few words, if you would, Keith.
Thanks, everyone, for being in here. As the police chief of Rehoboth Beach, I am actually tasked with our emergency operations plans. And I think the biggest thing, so I'm not repeating the same thing over and over, is to know that we actually have plans. We prepare them. We look at them each year annually, and we make any upgrades that we need to do that, and then we perform exercises. So we are ready to go. It's important for you guys to know to reach out to us if you have any questions at any time that we can help you with, because, you know, as we're talking about hurricane season, being prepared, the biggest threat for us is late August through the end of November and all that. So we are gearing up for those times, and we love to work together with everyone, with all our partners. And as Sharon just echoed, Delmarva Power, Sussex County, Joe Thomas, everybody's so great, and they help us out all the time. So again, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Keith. I'm going to move this over. Is that all right if I move this? Theresa Young from the Red Cross is going to give us some good information about what to do, how to prepare so you're ready if a storm hits.
Okay.
So if you want to refer to your information, feel free to do so.
Well, thank you. For the Red Cross, we'd like to first say we're very honored to be partners with the likes of Delmarva Power as well as our emergency responders to be their support system. And with that, we're going to suggest 3 things that you'll hear from the Red Cross and for everyone is to build a kit, make a plan, and be informed. And the first is build a kit. We're going to advise everybody to build a kit and for preparation. The last thing you want to do is lose valuable time in this state of an emergency of trying to pull stuff together that you need. We have sample kits behind us, but basically it can be, you can purchase one online or you can go ahead and build your own. I'm going to mention another app, and that's redcross.org. And within that, you can click Build a Kit, and it will give you the items that will help you to put one together. The key things that you want are a first aid kit, a hand-cranked or battery-operated radio and flashlight. We do suggest hand-cranked because then you don't have to worry about additional batteries, and food and water. These things are essential. Again, don't forget simple things like a can opener. The second is to make a plan. And so you hear that there are plans for the city, but you need to have personal plans for your family, and part of that is a sit-down conversation with your family, your children, and let them know that in a case of an emergency at home or on vacation, here's where you're going to meet up if you are separated. Here's the path that you'll take, things like that. So do make a plan and have a conversation with your family. And the last is to be informed. You've heard different ways to stay informed. I suggest regardless of what app you choose one. Make sure you have an app that you are going to use on a regular basis to stay informed. So again, I thank our partners, and build a kit, make a plan, and be informed. Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa.
Those of us in the radio industry love hearing you talk about those radios.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Jim Smith, our Public Affairs Manager for this region with Delmarva Power. Jim's going to give some good information about how our company is preparing for severe weather to assure our customers that we're ready to keep the lights on, or if the lights do go out, that we'll get them back on as quickly and as safely as possible.
Well, thanks for being here. And the outset of hurricane season historically has been a good time for us just to kind of get out and refortify the message of preparedness. And you heard it from our partners here today. It's all about preparedness. We want our customers to be prepared, and very simple things that can be done, like the Red Cross pointed about having a storm kit, something that you could really pick up extra items at the grocery store and then have it stowed away in a pantry or a closet and just be ready before the onset of an actual emergency. We also stress it to commercial and business customers too. We've been part of some business continuity seminars over the last couple of years, and business is having a plan should an emergency strike too. Communication is essential, and believe it or not, we see these folks quite a bit during their year. We don't just show up once a year and do this. We're in contact with, Joe Thomas's counterparts all across the Delmarva Peninsula. We maintain very close relationships with the offices of emergency management, our government officials at the state, county, and local levels to make sure that we're all on the same page of the playbook. And sometimes we actually drill together. We do a lot of drilling internally to prepare for emergencies at Delmarva Power. We also do external drills. We're part of conferences with emergency management, and we appreciate having the nonprofit Red Cross be a part of this too, because they're a huge piece of the puzzle. At Delmarva Power, we've also spent a record amount of money over the last 5 years, many millions of dollars, to rebuild large parts of our system to not only keep the lights on a blue sky day like today, but to help our system when there's a significant weather situation, a storm. So a hardy, robust system like that helps us greatly during storms, and we've done a lot of rebuilding right here in the Rehoboth Beach area. Our employees are a key piece. I mean, we're on call and ready to go at a moment's notice when we get storms. And again, we maintain contact with the partners that are here today during a storm. Now, when the lights do go off, we have a fairly systematic way to restore service. Matt's got our big board, and you can take some pictures of it. But basically, any life-threatening situation is top priority. So if there's a car with wires on it somewhere, we make that a top priority. Or if there's a down line, we try to make that a priority. And then as we restore power, public service goods. So like if City Hall's off, or if the local hospital is off, public water and sewer facilities, we make those a priority. And then we work through our system, basically getting the large high voltage transmission lines taken care of, and then we work our way down to the neighborhoods, basically getting the largest number of customers on as quickly as possible. But we can't get a neighborhood on if we've got a transmission issue somewhere upstream. So it's a fairly methodical way to restore service. I always compare it to how the Department of Transportation clears roads. You can't get access during snow-covered roads to a back road when you have your major arteries that are still covered in snow, and a lot of it works the same way with our electric distribution and transmission system. So the key message today is preparedness. We want folks to be prepared, and we appreciate you helping us get that message out. Appreciate these fine folks being with us here today. Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about what the public should do when they find down wire?
If you come across a down wire, report it and stay away from it. You can call Delmarva Power's outage number and 800-375-7117 to report a down wire. We get a lot of those down wire calls through 911 dispatch. In some cases, we'll get them even through Chief Banks' department at the local police or fire. We'll pass those along. The bottom line is we want folks to treat a down wire as if it is an energized wire, because there is a good chance it could still be live with electricity. Just because it's laying on the ground doesn't mean it's dead. So just get it reported, and then our crews will secure it and make it safe as quickly as possible.
One footnote on our website, if you go to delmarva.com, we have a fact sheet called Weathering the Storm, 2-page fact sheet. You can download that. It has a lot of good information. Talks about, like Theresa said, about what to do to put into a storm kit. Has information about our mobile app. We also have a mobile app where you can get updated outage information. You can also get that on the website as well. We update the outage map, every 15 to 20 minutes, I think?
It's every 15.
Every 15 minutes, you'll get an update as to if you're curious about an outage in your area, what the timeline is for restoration. So we're trying to stay in touch with customers, let them know that we're doing our best to restore the power when the bad weather hits. But just to recap, it only takes one storm to create a lot of havoc and a lot of damage. So a lot of people, we've had pretty quiet storm seasons, relatively speaking, the last few years. But it only takes one storm to create problems. So we want customers to be prepared. We want them to heed the advice of emergency management people when it comes to safety. That's very critical. So we'll stick around. If anybody wants one-on-one interviews with any of the folks here, we're willing to do that as long as you need us. Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.